Hello everybody and welcome to my crochet stream. Today we're going to be making star coasters and it's going to be a crochet along with me, and if you want to learn this pattern, you'll be able to learn it live here. I will also be recording this and making it into a YouTube tutorial if you need to go back to it. Okay, but I guess let's get started. Hi everybody! Hello. Okay, so we're making a star coaster. I'll show you the one that I made earlier. This one's one of the smaller ones. This is what we're going to be making today. If you want to make the larger one, it would be about this much of a difference. So not by much, but this one I like to use for my water bottle, but this one I like to use for cups. So, let me put those back. Okay, to begin, for the large ones, you would want to use an 8mm crochet hook. For the smaller ones, it is a 6.5mm crochet hook, so that's the one I'll be using today. So I'm going to set this one off to the side, so just get in my way. You'll also need a stitch marker. I have the little fancy plastic one, but you could just use another piece of yarn of a contrasting color or something like that to keep track. I also have a little row counter. I just slide the little numbers. You don't have to have something like this. It's okay if you just have a small sheet of paper with keeping track with tally marks. You're gonna need a needle to sew in the ends. I also have a tape measure. You don't really need the tape measure. I just wanted to show you guys the size of it at the end and then compare the different sizes between the two. And then I also have this. It's just a pliers. It's because my thumb is a little weak sometimes, so I need some help pulling the needle through to get it fully weaved in. So I just have this guy because work smarter, not harder. I'll put that off to the side too so it's out of my way. Okay. Oh, and then scissors to cut the yarn. I would like to say this is a beginner pattern. It can be intermediate if you don't know how to do a magic circle. I'm a little bad at explaining things, so I'm going to try my best to explain how I do it, but that's why I have the desk cam today. So that way you guys can see what I'm trying to explain and then hopefully be able to get it yourself if you do try to do this or try to make this pattern. There will be a written pattern posted on in my Discord server. So if you want to join the Discord server, just go on over to my panels, click the Discord, and it'll take you right to the invite link. Okay. Let me take a sip of water real quick. I also crocheted this as well. If you would like to see this in the future, let me know. It's just a little water bottle holder. Nothing too fancy schmancy. Okay, so if you want to begin with the magic ring, before I forget, I like to double strand this, so it's a little bit thicker. So you just want 2 strands of any worsted weight yarn. I'm doing rainbow and white right now, so I already did the red and the orange, as you can see here, so I need to do the yellow next. What I do for a magic ring is I pinch it between my thumb and my middle finger. I wrap it around at an angle, and then I wrap it back around to make an X. So it's 2 bars on this side, and then it's an X on this side. Okay. So then what you're going to do is you're going to stick your hook under the first bar, and then pull the second bar through up onto your hook. And then you take your fingers out, and then as you can see, you have a circle here, a little tail, and then a loop. So what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over and pull through the hoop, or the loop. And then some people do consider this to be the first stitch, or it's called a chain stitch. I don't like using that because it makes the circle look a little wonky to me. So what I do is I just do single crochet, and then I count this one as my first one instead of this one. So we're going to need 6 single crochets total in this circle. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So once you have 6 single crochets in your circle, you're going to take your stitch marker and you're going to put it in the last stitch that you made, and then for every row on, you'll always be putting the stitch marker into that last stitch. So then as you can see, you have like an open circle here, and then you have 6 single crochet, and then you're like, well, how do I close it? Well, like this. You just take this little tail and you pull as hard as you can, and then it closes up for you. Looks like popcorn to me. Okay. And then just for if you can't do a magic circle, that's fine. I'm going to show you how to start it without the magic circle and then redo it with the magic circle just so it matches the rest of my coasters. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your 2 strands of yarn, you're going to loop them around your fingers like this, cross the shorter tail over the longer tail, and then pull the longer tail through and pull it closed. And then this is what's called a slip knot. So then what you do is you stick your hook into the slip knot and then you pull on the long tail to make it nice and taut. Oop. So then what you're going to do is you're going to reposition your yarn on your fingers. I'm using a tension ring, which I do highly recommend to people. You don't need it. I used to work like this, but it was hurting my finger a little bit, so I ended up getting a tension ring instead, which I am very, very glad I got that. So I got this one off of Amazon. You can probably find one at a local craft market or something like that, made by somebody who crochets or knits. But once you have your loop on your hook, what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over and pull through, and that's your first chain stitch. So then, since we're doing single crochet, you're going to want to chain one more. But since I don't like to do that, I'm just gonna... Okay, so let me explain this real quick. You see the 2 top loops here? I'm gonna work in this back loop right here. Hold on, I'm gonna have to redo this. Okay. So I'm gonna work into this back loop here, and I'm gonna put 6 single crochet into this back loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then again, you're going to be putting your stitch marker into the last stitch you made, and that's how you would start the star coaster, not using a magic ring. Now, the only thing I don't like is even if you pull on this tail, this little hole here doesn't close. So that's why I prefer to use the magic ring, because you get a full closure right here. You could go back and sew it closed, but that's just extra work. So if you do the magic ring, you don't have to do that after you finish. So then you have less ends to weave in the long run. So let me take this apart again, and I will show you how to do another magic knot, just because, or magic circle. My apologies. So you're going to take your 2 strands and pinch it between your thumb and your middle finger, and then you're going to go down the front at an angle, come up the back straight, and then cross it over. You're going to put your hook under the first, and you're going to pull through the top. Okay, and again, once you're here, you're just going to yarn over and pull through to secure that, and then you're going to do 6 single crochet, which is yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through both loops. So that was the first one. For the second crochet, for the second single crochet again, so you put your hook into the middle circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that's your second single crochet. So then 3, 4, 5, and 6. So just a double count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then again, as always, put the stitch marker in the last stitch that you make. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this little tail here and you're going to pull it through. And boom, this is technically row 1. So I'm going to move my stitch counter to 1. Or if you don't have one, again, you can just use a little piece of paper or something and then just cross and do 1 tally mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the first loop that we're going to work in the second row. So this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your hook through all 4 loops. And then what I like to do is this end that's left over from the tail of the magic ring, I just work it along as I go. I just work over it so I don't have to weave it in at the end, because again, why make it harder for yourself? So what we're going to do in this first stitch is called a single crochet increase, which means we're going to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and we're going to do an increase in every stitch around. So this first stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then you're going to go back into the same stitch again and do another single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So that's an increase. You completed 1 increase. Woohoo! So now we're going to do increases for the rest of the row. So then, since you started with 6 single crochets, you'll have 12 by the end. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're now in the last stitch, so we're going to put it through, take the stitch marker out. So this is stitch number, hold on, my end is kind of funky. Okay, so 11 and 12. So this is the last stitch of the row. So again, remember, put your stitch marker in the last stitch of the row. And then sometimes when you are working the second row, the magic ring can come loose a little bit, but don't worry about that, because all you have to do is take the 2 little ends here and pull it, and it'll close the magic ring in the middle. But I did it pretty well, so there's no circle, or there's no hole. So that was row number 2. So switch your your row counter to 2, or just mark down on your piece of paper. So I wanted to make a comment real quick. The only thing I dislike about this tension ring is sometimes when I'm using double yarn like this, one strand of yarn will pop out and then it'll get caught. But it's okay. We deal with it. So for the next row, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 increase, and then repeat that until you reach the stitch marker. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So you're going to do 1 single crochet. Try not to do that. So 1 single crochet and then 1 increase. So 1 and then 2. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that again. You're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then into the following stitch you're going to do an increase, which is 1 and 2 into the same stitch. We do that again, so another restart of the pattern. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. See, this is what I'm talking about, chat. You see this? You see this? It's so annoying, because then I have to unhook it, detangle it, and then put it back in. Okay, where was I? Oh, I have to do 1 more single crochet in this, so 1 more. And then we're going to repeat it again. So single crochet into the next stitch, increase into the following stitch. Hold on, it doesn't want to go in. Bruh. Brother, what are you doing? Okay. 1 and 2. I don't know why it was really hard to work in that one. Okay, we're going to repeat that again. 1 single crochet, 1 increase. Oops. And then this will be the last time we're repeating this, because as you can see, we have 2 stitches left until the stitch marker. So we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single, oh, my yarn got a little messed up. Let me redo that. So 1 single crochet into this stitch, and then 1 increase or 2 single crochet into the last stitch. So take out your stitch marker, and you do 1, and then you do 2. And then what you're going to do is just put your stitch marker into the last stitch you made, and then that's row 3. So again, change your counter or add another tally to your piece of paper. Give me 1 second though, I need some wah-wah. Okie dokie, I got my wah-wah. And if you do lose track, like say you lose your row counter, or you don't remember what row you're on, or you forgot, so this little middle part here, that's your first row. This is row 2 and that's row 3. You can kind of see where it separates into each row. So then for row number 4, we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 increase, and then repeat all the way until we reach the stitch marker. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch, another single crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to do 1 increase. So 1 and 2. So then now you'll have 4 stitches total. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase. Oh, that's unfortunate. Just give that a little boop. Also, I do keep all of my yarn scraps because 1, I'm a goblin, but 2, I actually use it as stuffing in some projects that I make, like small plushies. I make possums. What? I lost track of what I was thinking about. Oh, can you not hear the music? Is that better? Oh, no, it wasn't on. Oh, wow. Okay. I apologize about that. I thought the music was working this entire time. But yeah, as I was saying, I use scraps of yarn to fill the plushies that I make. I make possums, bees, ghosts. I've also made a bunny before. But I use it to stuff the small feet or the little paws, because I don't want to have the color or so if I'm using like a black yarn to make a foot and then I put white stuffing into it, you're going to see the white stuffing through the black yarn through the small little holes. So like these little holes. So I just stuff the black legs with the black yarn and then you won't see it. But continuing onwards with the start. So we're on row 4, so again it's 2 single crochet and then 1 increase. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then increase. So that's 1, 2. And then we just repeat that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here we are, 3 stitches away from the stitch marker. So it's going to be 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then 1 increase. And the way this specific pattern works is every time you end the row, it's going to be on an increase. So that's also another way to help you keep track of if you have the right amount of stitches in the row. So, oop, I split the yarn. Hold on a second. I gotta redo that. Okay, so 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then I like to put my hook in first and then remove the stitch marker, that way I don't lose track. And then you're going to put an increase. And then you're going to move the stitch marker to the last stitch that you made. And that's row 4. And then row 5 is going to be 3 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 increase. And boom, that's how you start that row. So again, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then increase. I will meet you guys at the end of the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Oop, I almost messed up. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so sorry about that. I thought the music was working this entire time. I'm just a silly little guy, don't mind me. I'm new here. And thank you, Hump, for helping me figure that out. Real one. So again, to continue on, we're going to do 3 single crochet and then 1 increase and repeat till the end of the row. 2, 3, and then increase, 4, 5. So, before I do this, so again, we're about to do the last repeat of the pattern, or the last repeat of the row. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then in the last stitch we're going to do an increase. So 1 and 2. And then move the stitch marker to the last stitch. And then move your row counter to 5. Okay, now for row 6, it's going to get a little interesting here. We're going to do a couple of different stitches, and what we're going to do is we're going to work up one side of the point, do a chain, and then mirror it down the other side of the point. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet into the first stitch, and then in the next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet and then a double crochet. So a half double crochet is where you put you wind yarn around your hook once. You put your hook through the stitch, yarn over, and pull through. And that way you have 3 loops on your hook. So what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then you're going to repeat that same beginning process where you yarn over, put it through the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, and you have 3 loops. But to do the half double crochet, to do the double crochet, you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops only. So then you have 2 loops left, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops again. So as you can see, it's starting to taper upwards towards the point of the star. So in the next stitch, we're going to do what's called a treble crochet, which you're going to just wrap your hook twice instead of once. You're going to put your hook through the stitch, you're going to yarn over and pull through, and then you're going to have 4 loops on your hook. So you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2. Yeah, I don't understand why that's called a half double. I mean, I guess because it's in between single and double. Like, as you can see here, like, here's the single, here's the half double, here's the double. So, like, it gives a nice taper to the treble. I'm not the one who came up with these terms. I just work here. So then, we have the one side of the point. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do another treble crochet into the same stitch that we just did the first one. So again, wrap your yarn around your hook twice, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, and you should have 4 loops on your hook. And you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through the last 2. And there's the start of the point. So then we're going to do, in the next stitch, we're going to mirror it. So instead of doing half double then double, we're going to do double then half double. So yarn over, put it through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. And then we're going to do a half double, just yarn over, put it through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then to end it, we're going to do another single crochet into the next stitch. And there you go. You got 1 point of the star. I mean, I guess this could also work for a teardrop if you wanted to have like a teardrop shaped coaster. But what we're going to do to reset the pattern is in this next stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch, which a slip stitch is you just put your hook through the stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then pull it through the loop. And then you can see it's nice and flat and flush to the stitch underneath it. So then we're going to repeat that pattern of single crochet in the next stitch, and then the next stitch a half double, and then a double in the same. I just messed that up. There we go. And then a treble crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and then treble crochet again. Then we're going to mirror it. We're going to do a double crochet, half double crochet, and then in the next stitch a single crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch again and then restart that pattern. I've also seen people do cat coasters this way. It's not my favorite pattern to do cat coasters, but you can kind of see the shape of it. I just feel like the ears are too round to be cat ears, in my personal opinion. But we're going to restart the pattern again, and we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, half double and double into the following stitch, the next stitch do a treble, chain, and treble, and then we're going to do another double, and then a half double, and then the next stitch we're going to do a single and a slip. I will let you guys know, sometimes I accidentally say triple crochet instead of treble crochet because that's how my brain processes it, but it's technically, the technical term is treble, but I also call it triple. So if you hear me say triple, don't get tripped up. It's just treble. That's just me. My apologies. Okay. So single, 1, half double, 1, double, 1, treble, 1, 2, 3, chain, and then another treble. Then in the next stitch, we're going to do a double, half double. Oh, I just messed up. So if you mess up, don't worry. You just pull it out. Boom, look at that. No biggie. So again, half double into the same stitch as that double stitch, and then a single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble, chain, and treble. Okay, and then in the next stitch, I'm gonna do the double, half double, and then single crochet. And then as you can see, we have 1 stitch left where the stitch marker is. You're just gonna slip stitch into that stitch, and then you're gonna cut your yarn to whatever length you feel comfortable. I leave usually like 2 to 3 inches of a tail. And then you're gonna, what I do is I just like pinch the stitch and then pull it through just so this stitch doesn't get too tight when I'm doing this. But now to finish off the star coaster, we're gonna do what's called a invisible fasten off. Oop, there we go. Okay, so once you got your yarn into your needle, you're just gonna untwist that. Okay. So let me explain this. So you see how you slip stitched into this last stitch and it's like sitting over it? So this next stitch right here is going to be what we're copying. So in the stitch next to the one that you're copying, you're going to put the needle from the back to the front through the top 2 loops. Like so. And that creates one side of the top of the stitch. And then in the last slip stitch you made, you're going to go in between the 2 loops. And then you're going to go out the back and just lightly pull it. And that way you can barely see where you fastened it off. And that's an invisible fasten off. Good job. So then the next step is basically just weaving in your end. Some people make everything first, then weave in all the ends, which I don't understand how you could put yourself through that. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Weave in as you go. It's so much easier, so much less work. So just, I guess, come with me while I weave in this end. Oh, yeah. Trusty tools. Okay. And as you just saw there, so if you pull it too tight, you'll actually create a little cinch. So try not to pull it tight like that. If you do, you can work it to the right tension again, but just try not to pull too hard on your first pass. I like to go 3 passes, so I go 1, 2, 3, and that really secures the end in there, so you don't have to worry about it unraveling in the future, or, you know, unraveling if you go to wash it. Okay, and then 1 more. Okay, and then I just like to pull it a little bit just to make sure it's really in there, make sure it's not moving around. And if it does move around too much, I do just do 1 more pass through, but you're just gonna carefully snip your yarn. And then boom, would you look at that? You made yourself a star coaster. Wow. What I like to do is I just like put my fingers in each of the chains stitches at the tip of the points and stretch it out. And that way, you get a more defined star shape. You can also block them if you want to. I'm just what you call lazy, so I don't do that. I just stretch them, and then boom, it's done. But if you were gonna block it, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna soak it in hot water, medium warm to hot water, don't burn yourself. Soak it in hot water and then pin it onto a blocking board. Or you can roll it up in a towel. Or you can use steam. But be careful if you're using steam because you don't want to hurt yourself. But there we go. We got the yellow star done of the rainbow pack. So next color is going to be green. But just to show you guys the difference in sizes between the two. Oof. Okay. Alright, so here's the big star next to the smaller star. And from side point to side point on the smaller star, it's about 4.5 inches, where on the bigger star, it's 5.5, almost 6 inches. And then from top to bottom, it's 5 inches for the big one, and top to bottom, 4 inches for the smaller one. I like the bigger one personally for my water bottle, because you can put your water bottle on it, and you can still see like the points of the stars. Hold on. There we go. So as you can see, like even with the water bottle on it, you can still see the little points of the stars. And then this one, this smaller one, is better for like cups and mugs. So if you have a big mug though, you might want to put it on this one. You can even put a bowl on here if you wanted to. So like if you're eating some soup, you can put your soup bowl on it. Oh, I almost knocked it over. Okay. But this is what the rainbow set's gonna look like once I'm finished. Got all the pretty colors in there. Got the Roy G. Biv plus pink. And then these will actually be an item featured on my Etsy shop, but also I will be selling them at my event this year called Game Art, which there will be more information coming soon in the Discord, and I will obviously update you as I go on stream, because I will be making some stuff for Game Art on stream, so you guys get to follow along with me and see the artistic process of everything else that I do besides crochet and digital art. So we're going to set this yellow off to the side. And then I gotta find my green. Here it is. This is Red Heart Super Saber Spring Green, I believe, if you like this color green. I actually use it in a lot of different things that I make. I really like this color green. So again, okay. Once you got both strands of yarn, you're gonna make another magic ring, which again, you pinch between your thumb and your middle finger, run over your pointer finger at an angle in the front but straight in the back, and then you're gonna go straight up the back and then cross over the front and make a little X, and then you're gonna go under the bottom bar, over the top bar, and then pull it through, and then pinch it so you don't lose it. Shit. There we go. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through, which is a slip stitch, essentially. So a slip stitch to secure it so you can do your single crochets, which we're going to do 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And then to close it, before you close it, you're going to put your stitch marker into that last stitch. Boom. I forgot to reset this as well. So once you have your stitch marker in and 6 single crochet, you're going to pull that magic ring closed, and you're going to pull it as tight as you can. And then you're going to start row number 2, which is an increase in each stitch until you reach the stitch marker. So you're going from 6 to 12. So 1, 2, 6. There we go. And remember, chat, work over your end. Don't save it for the end and weave it in. Nah, just work over it. Just bury it in there. Bury it. So first increase, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. Hold on, I gotta pull the yarn. It's getting a little tight. There we go. 7, 8, 9, 10. Take out the stitch marker. 11 and 12. Put that stitch marker back. And then, again, you can just pull this in to tighten it a little bit to make sure that you don't have a little hole in the middle of your magic ring. Okay. That was technically row 2. I've done this pattern so many times now, I can just keep track of the rows in my head. So I don't really need the row counter anymore, but I wanted to show it for you guys to help you guys keep track as well. So for row 3, it's going to be 1 single crochet and then 1 increase, repeat until the stitch marker. So 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch, 1 increase. And 2. Okay, So repeat that again. 1 single crochet, 1 increase. And then it's okay if your end sticks out like this, because you can just give it a little snippy mix, snip, snip. Boop. And then again, you keep that in the stash pile. Which, you know what? You guys can watch my little stash pile grow right here. Boop. There's my stash. Okay, so again, repeat the pattern, 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and then I will meet you guys at the end of the row. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, oops, oopsies, 3, 1, 2, and 3. We got it! Look at that! Woohoo! Row 3 done! Now row 4. 2 single crochet, 1 increase, and repeat. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, another single crochet in the next stitch, and then an increase. 1 and 2. So again, repeat it. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 increase. Oh, that's so gross. Chat, I found a factory knot. Oh, I hate this shit so much. It's so ugly and it's so hard to work over sometimes. And at times, it's not even that structurally sound. Like, I'm pulling on this one and it's fine, but sometimes if you pull, it'll just come apart. But we're gonna work over that and hide that. Boom, look at that. It's on the back. It doesn't matter, it's on the back. It's gonna be on the back will be on the, I almost said floor. The back will be on the surface wherever you're having your drink. Yeah. Words. So again, we're gonna repeat the pattern, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and an increase. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're almost by the stitches. We're at the last stitch repeat now. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. Oh, I hate when that happens so much. Okay. Boom. Crisis averted. Okay, last stitch is an increase. 1 y 2. And then you're gonna put your stitch marker into that last stitch. And then boom, row 4 is done. I'm actually gonna trim this a wee bit. Don't trim it too much, because if you trim it too much, it can lose what little integrity it has, and then it can unravel. So I just chopped a little bit off, just so it's not as fuzzy, but as you can see, the knot is still intact there. It just looks a little cleaner. So for row 5, we're gonna do 3 single crochet, 1 increase, and repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. And as you can see, once again, my yarn is getting stuck and twisted up. So we're gonna have to fix that. And then we're going to repeat the pattern again of 3 single crochet, 1 increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 for the increase. This yarn poop over here is what's making it hard for me to crochet right now, and I'm not appreciating it, fam. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, excuse me, chat. It's kind of a weak burp, but it was a burp nonetheless. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and increase. 1, 2, and increase. So then now we're on the last little repeat. So we're gonna do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then in the last stitch you're doing that increase. So remove the stitch marker, increase, and then put it back. Okay, so then that's the main circle again. And if you wanted to, just make a circle coaster. If you wanted to do the next row, or I would add maybe 2 more rows, you're just gonna add another single crochet. So if you were doing just a circle, you would do for the 6th row, I'm buffering. You're gonna do 4 single crochet and 1 increase, and then the next one 5 single crochet, 1 increase, and then that's how you keep, you know, if you want to make a rug, that's how you can make a rug too. You can just keep adding increase after increase after increase per row, and then get as big of a circle as you want. Though this sometimes you can kind of see it here. It's more of a hexagon shape rather than a pure circle, but that's because of the specific pattern I'm using. If you want to make it an actual pure circle, you would have to look that up. I'm not sure. I don't do it myself. I don't care. I'm lazy. I told you I'm lazy, so I just do this. Okay, so now back to the first point of the star. Single, half double, double, next stitch is treble, chain, and treble again. And then double, half double, shingle, and slip. Kerchow. So single, half double, double, treble, chain, and treble. Double, half double, single, slip, single, half double, double, treble, chain, treble, half double. Oh, I lied, chat. That was a double. This one's a half double. Single, slip, and another single. Half double, double, treble. Oops. I accidentally pulled it only through one. Look at that shit. Pop that back over. And pull through. Chain. And another treble. I don't want no treble in here. Okay, I'm sorry. That was bad, chat. So double, half double, single, slip, and single. So then we're gonna do a half double, double, treble, chain, treble, double, half double, single, and the last stitch, slip. Again, pick how long you want your tail to be. Give that a little snippy snip snip. And then give it a pinch and a pull. Now remember, before you start doing your invisible fasten off, you have to untwist the yarn or it'll look funny and it won't look like the rest of the work. So again, for the invisible fasten off, we got the stitch you worked over here, the stitch you're copying right here, and the stitch we're going to work in right here. So we're going to go back to front through all top loops, and then in the last stitch you made, you're going to go in between the two top loops, go behind and pull it through. And then there you go. Look at it. Oh my god. You're doing such a great job. And then weave in your ends. Oops. Ooh, this one's hard. Okay. So when that happens, it just means there's a little bit of a tangle or like a snag somewhere. So you just gotta like, yeah, you gotta play with it a little bit. We're gonna go back through. And then last one. Pull it through, and then there you go. Just gotta give it the little snippy mix snip snip now. And then you add it to the pile. And then look at that! Another coaster! Okay, so I am actually going to BRB for un segundo, because I need to use el baño. Okay, chat, I am back! Okay, let's get back into it. I went to the restroom. I petted the cats. They're being good. They're both taking big old fat naps. And we're gonna go back to it. So, since we finished with the green, we're gonna move on to the next color, which is blue. Wow, that camera does not do this justice. Okay, this is like a little bit more of like a lighter blue, rather than like how it's looking kind of electric. But this is called Turquoise from Red Heart Super Saver. I really, really like it as well. I actually use this color specifically in the pan pride flag items that I make. Like I'm actually wearing one right now here. So this one's actually kind of old. I made this 4, 5. I made this a while ago. It's lasted, but you can kind of see the different. Oh wow, no, it actually looks pretty good. But you know, these I make these little pride cuffs. I also make all my plushies into pride things as well. On this hand I have my pan pride, and then on this hand over here we have the agender pride, which right here in the middle is that spring green that I just used in the previous coaster that we made. So if you give me 1 second, I just need to put a little bit of lotion on my hands because they're dry. And then we are gonna do, so again, pinching it here, pulling it over at like a little bit of a slant, straight up, put it over again. Let's go. There we go. And then under the first bar, over the next bar, and pull it through and secure it. slip stitch and then 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Put in your stitch marker and pull that baby closed. And then another little pro tip. So say you wanted to walk away from this project for a second or two. These are all my stitch markers. I prefer the blue one or the teal ones. Whatever color you want to say that is. So what I usually do is I pull a really big loop so that way, you know, it doesn't get pulled through. And then I attach a stitch marker on the end here so it's in the loop. And then I just leave my project like that. So if I do come back and let's say I accidentally pull this through, it doesn't go through, so you don't lose your progress, and you just pull this back to get the loop back. So pro tip right there, chat. You're just gonna slide your hook on and pull. Okie dokie, artichokes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here we are. Oops. There we go. Come on. Come on. My dude. My dude. Thank you. So row 2, once again, we're going to do an increase in every single stitch until we reach the stitch marker. Yay! Repetitiveness. Dokie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Oh. Damn. That's just depressing. So 1, 2. And then in this last stitch here, 2 more, or aka 1 increase. Sorry, chat, I had to cough and I didn't want you to hear me coughing. So I'm gonna mute myself again after I finish this row, so I can take a little sippy sip of that wah-wah. Cause damn, that cough got me good. Okay, chat, for row number 3, we're gonna do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, oops. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So there we go. We're at the last one here, guys. You're gonna do 1 and then an increase. I'm actually gonna try to move my camera. Hoy. I'm gonna move my camera down a little bit. There. Now you guys can really see what I'm doing. Also, sorry I can't speak English, chat. It's just a little difficult for me sometimes. Words are hard, English is hard. Language is made up. Nothing is real. Oakley dokley artichokes. Yeah, I said Oakley dokley artichokes. Let's go. What is that? Get that out of there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, row 4. 2 single crochets, 1 increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's getting stuck again. God dang it. Dang it! There we go. So 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually another way you can keep track of what row you're on, chat. So I'm doing 1 single crochet, right? So 1, and then another single crochet, 2, and then I'm doing an increase in the next stitch, which is 3 and 4. So the repeating pattern ends up with 4 stitches each segment, which means you're on row 4. Okay. Three and 4. Okay, we're at the last bit now. At the last of it, last repetition of this row. 1, 2, and then increase 3 and 4, and then move the stitch marker to the last stitch, and boom shakalaka boom boom. So row 5, 3 single crochet, 1 increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're at the last bit now, which is just this last repetition here of row 5. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and increase. And then move your stitch marker to the last stitch you made. And now we're on row 6, which means we are now on the start point. So single crochet, and in the next stitch you're going to do a half double, and then a double. Oop, I lost my white yarn, do you see that? So what you do is you take it out, and you just pull it out, and readjust your tension. So double crochet, and then a treble crochet. Chain 1, and then another treble crochet. And then what you're gonna do is in the next stitch you're gonna do a double, and then a half double, and then you're gonna do a single, and then you're gonna do a slip stitch. So single, half double, double, treble, chain 1, and another treble. And we're gonna do double, half double, oop, single, and slip. Then we're gonna do another single crochet. Oh, I almost messed up, chat. I almost did 2 single crochets in a row, which would have been very, very bad. That's no. Okay, so the single, the slip, the single. So we're gonna do half double, and then double, treble, chain 1, and treble again, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, and slippy stitch. The slippy stitchy. Sorry, I just buffered for a second, chat, don't mind me. So single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 1, and then another treble crochet. Oh, you see that? You see how it got a little weird there? I'm gonna undo that and redo that because I don't like the way that looks. Okay, so readjust my tension and then redo the treble crochet. Oh yeah, look at that. That's so much better, chat. So then we're gonna do double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch, and then here we're gonna do the last point. So single, half double, double, treble, chain 1, another treble, double, half double, single, and slip. Slip and snip is what I like to call it. Just be careful not to snip yourself, because scissors are sharp, chat. Pinch and pull through. And again, we're gonna do the invisible fasten off. Really wish I could speak English. Remember, untwist your yarn before you start fastening it off. There, I should have adjusted a little bit. And now weave in your end. Do it. Weave it in. Don't be lazy. That's why they have tools to help. Go back. Oop. I slipped. Okay, there we go. Pull that through, and then we're just gonna go back one more time to really, you know, weave that in place so it does not fall out or untangle for whoever decides to purchase these and give them a home. And then again, as you can see, you can kind of see the tail from the magic ring in the back here. This is technically the back of the coaster, so you don't really have to trim it, but because I'm me and I need it to look as pretty as possible, I'm gonna trim it. Just be really careful not to actually trim the stitch underneath it, because then you'll run into a whole host of problems doing that. Snip. Into the pile you go. Okay. Stretch the corners. Yeah, when I stretch the corners, I'm literally just sticking my fingers into the chain spaces. And then pull. And then boom. Look at that. Pretty blue star coaster. Okay, chat. This color, I believe, is Royal by Big Twist, which is actually a Joann Fabrics yarn brand, and they are unfortunately going out of business, which makes me really sad because this yarn right here that I used to make my cardigan, it was a limited edition Halloween yarn, and I'm never gonna see it ever again unless somebody buys it and remakes it, which I really hope they do because I'm gonna cry if I can't get Halloween yarn again next year. Or this year. Oh my god. Ugh. Forgot it was now 2025, guys. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to try to be as professional as possible because I am going to record an actual tutorial for YouTube from this specific segment right here. So if you want to say hi to YouTube chat, you can say hi YouTubes, but I will be starting it now. Welcome to my Star Coaster tutorial. So for today's tutorial, you're going to need a 6.5mm hook, or if you want a slightly bigger coaster, you can go with an 8mm hook, but I am going to be using the 6.5mm hook. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a stitch marker, and then a row counter. If you don't have a row counter like this one, that's fine. Don't worry about it. All you need to do is get a scrap piece of paper and a pen, pencil, crayon, marker, and then you can just use tallies to help you keep track of what row you're on. I also have these pliers because my hand is a little bit weak, so when I'm trying to weave in at the end, it's a little I struggle a little bit to pull the needle through. So that's why we have these here as a little backup guy, just for some assistance, because you want to work harder. You want to work smarter, not harder. Smarter, not harder. I'm stupid, chat. Don't listen to me. Okay. Anyway, for the beginning of this pattern, you're going to want 2 strands of worsted weight yarn. You can use a single strand. They just will be a little bit thinner or more see-through, I guess. Is the only term I can think of. I use double strand just because it's thicker and it's prettier and it's nicer. So it looks like this when you're done. Yeah. Okay. So back to it. So we're going to start this pattern by doing a magic ring, which to do a magic ring, how I do it is I pinch the yarn between my middle finger and my thumb, and then I pull it over to the front, and I do it at a slant, like that, and then I pull it straight up the back, and then I go over and make an X shape. So once you have that X shape, you're going to stick your hook through the bottom of the bar that's closest to your fingernails, and then you're going to pull the top bar through and twist it a little bit just to secure it so it doesn't fall when you go to take your fingers off the circle. And then you're just going to do 1 slip stitch just to lock that in place and not lose your progress. So we're just going to do boom, 1 slip stitch. And then for the first row, you're going to do 6 single crochet into this magic ring. So you're going to do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, when you get to this point, what you're going to want to do is take that stitch marker and put it into the last stitch that you made. If you don't have a stitch marker like this one, don't worry about it. You can just use you can just use a bit of contrasting yarn. So if I didn't have this stitch marker here, I could take this little strip of green yarn. Oop, that's not green. I could take this little strip of green yarn here, put my hook through the stitch, and then pull it through. And then you can mark your stitch that way. But since I have my nice little locking stitch markers, I do prefer to use those. So let me put my hook back in and pull that. So then the next step is to close it. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull the little tail, and you're going to pull it closed as tight as you can, and then as you can see, you have kind of a circle, but not really. So that was row 1. So for row 2, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing an increase into every stitch, which an increase just means you're doing 2 single crochet into 1 stitch. So since we have 6 single crochet in this circle, we will be ending with 12 single crochet in the next row. So just to figure that out, you go to your stitch marker, so 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here's my first stitch. You're going to want to put your hook through all 4 loops like that, and then I work over my tail as I go, so I'm just going to be doing that for the duration of the tutorial. So you're going to do the 1 single crochet, and then in that same stitch, another single crochet. And then you've successfully completed 1 increase. So in the next stitch, you're going to do another increase, which is just another 2 crochets into the same stitch. So 1 and 2. So keep doing that until you reach the stitch marker at the end of the row, and I will meet you back there. So I think this is 6. Let me count that real quick. 1, 2, 3. Nope, that was wrong. Don't count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're here at the end of the row. We have 2 stitches left, so we're going to put an increase in this one and an increase in this one. So 1, 2. Put your hook into that last stitch, take out the stitch marker, and then put an increase. So 1 and 2. Ooh. 1 and 2. And always make sure to move your stitch marker to the last stitch you make. Do it. Don't forget. That is row 2. And then for row 3, we're going to do another repeating pattern, and this repeating pattern is going to be 1 single crochet and then 1 increase. So let me show you what I mean. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the stitch next to that, we're going to do 2 single crochet into the same stitch to complete the increase. So 1 and 2. Let me show you one more time. So 1 single crochet, and then the next stitch, an increase. And then you're going to repeat that pattern until you reach the stitch marker on the last stitch of the row. And I will meet you back there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oops. 1, 2, 3. My yarn got stuck again, chat. Okay, there we go. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Alright, now we're at the end of the row. So we're going to do 1 single crochet here and then an increase here. So again, 1 single crochet, put your hook in that last stitch, take the stitch marker out, and do 1 increase. And then place your stitch marker back into that last stitch that you made. And then you're going to move your row counter to 3. For row 4, we're going to be doing 2 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat. So let me show you what I mean. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, another single crochet in the next stitch, and then in this third stitch here, you're going to do an increase. So 1, 2, and then you're going to repeat that pattern. So in this next stitch, 1 single crochet, the next stitch, another single crochet, and then this last stitch right here, an increase. So 1, 2. So you're going to repeat that pattern for the rest of the row until you reach the stitch marker, and I'll meet you back there. I also need to fix my chair. Hold on, chat. Okay, now let's finish this row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are now at the end of the row. As you can see here, we have the 2 stitches for the single crochet and then an increase in the last stitch. And then for this specific pattern, you will always be putting an increase into the last stitch of the row, and that is another way of how you can keep track on if you're doing this pattern correctly or not. So the last pattern repeat, 1 single crochet, another single crochet, stick your hook into the last stitch, take out the stitch marker, and then put an increase, and then you're gonna put your stitch marker back into that last stitch, and then change your row counter to 4. For row 5, we'll be doing 3 single crochet, 1 increase, repeating. So let me show you. So 1, oops, not like that. So 1, 2, 3, and then in this 4th stitch, you're going to do an increase. And then you're going to repeat that pattern again. So 1, 2, 3, and then increase. 1, 2. And then you're going to repeat that pattern for the rest of the row until you reach the stitch marker, and I'll meet you back there. 1, 2, 3, oops, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, oopsies, hate that. What am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we are now at the end of the row. We got the 3 stitches here and then the last stitch. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, another single crochet, and then a 3rd single crochet, and then you're going to finish off the row with an increase in the last stitch. And now you've completed row 5. For row 6, we're going to be doing another repeating pattern. It's just going to be a little different from the repeating pattern that we just did for rows 1 through 5. So for this row, you're going to do a repeating pattern of a different mix of stitches, but you're going to work up one side of the point, chain, and then mirror it down the other side of the point. So we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, and then in the next stitch, you're going to do a half double crochet and a double crochet together. That way, as you can see right now, it's giving you that nice taper upwards. So then in the next stitch over, you're going to do what's called a treble crochet. Now if you don't know what a treble crochet is, I will go a little slower for the next one, but you're going to chain 1 and then do another treble crochet, which is where you wrap the yarn around your hook twice. You go through the stitch, yarn over and pull through so that you have 4 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last loop. And then you're going to mirror that. So you're going to do a double crochet here, a half double crochet in that same stitch, and then in the next stitch over, you're going to do a single crochet. And that's basically the pattern for the point. To repeat the pattern, we're going to need to do a slip stitch in between so that it can really help define the way our points look. So in this next stitch, you're going to do a slip stitch, and then you start this whole pattern over again, which was a single crochet in the next stitch, a half double, and a double. In the stitch next to that, a treble, chain, and another treble. My yarn's stuck, hold on. Alright, and you're gonna do another treble. And then to mirror that, in the next stitch over, you're gonna do a double crochet, and then a half double crochet in the same stitch, and then in the next stitch, a single crochet, and then in the next stitch, a slip stitch. And as you can see, now you have 2 points of your star. So you're just gonna repeat that same pattern until you reach the stitch marker at the end of the row, and I will show you how to finish it off. I'll meet you there. So single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, treble crochet, chain, treble crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet. Oh, I lost my white yarn. See, that also happens sometimes when you're using 2 different strands of yarn. It's just, you gotta deal with it if you want to use 2 strands. If you don't want to deal with it, use 1 strand. But again, it'll just make it a little more, it'd make it thinner, which would make it more see-through. Half double, double, treble, chain 1, another treble, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch. Okay. Okay, now that you have 4 points done, you're going to be making the last point, which will be considered the top of the star. So after you do that slip stitch, you're going to do a single crochet, half double crochet, and then double crochet into the same stitch. In the stitch next to that, we'll be doing a treble crochet, chain 1, and then another treble crochet. Then we will be doing a double crochet, half double crochet, and then a single crochet. And there you have your 5th point. Now, to finish off the star, we're going to do what's called an invisible fasten off. So you are going to do a slip stitch into the last stitch with the stitch marker. And then you are going to cut a tail. I usually leave mine to be like 3 to 4 inches long just to weave in my ends very nicely. It's personally up to you what you choose to do. I wouldn't go longer than like 5 inches though. That just seems a little wasteful in my opinion. But then you're going to pinch the stitch and you're going to pull the yarn through. And then you're going to get the yarn onto your darning needle so that you can complete the invisible fasten off. So just give me 1 second to do that. Okay, make sure you untwist your yarn just like I did. And then as you can see here, this is the last stitch we did. This is the slip stitch. It's covering this stitch right here. So we're going to pay attention to the 2 next stitches. This is the stitch you're going to be copying, and then this is the stitch you're going to be working in technically. So from the back, you're going to go into the top, under the top 2 loops through the front. And you've technically just made the back bar of the stitch that you're copying. So in the last slip stitch you made, you see how you got the 2 loops? You're going to go in between the 2 loops and then out the back. And then don't pull it too tightly, just tighten up. But then you can see you can barely see where it's ending. So that's why they call it the invisible fasten off. And then from there, you just weave in your ends however you're comfortable weaving in your ends. I prefer to do it 3 times, so 1, 2, 3, and then I just cut it, and usually it never comes out ever again. It's pretty secure that way. So let me just do that. Also, make sure you don't pull it too tight on the first pass through, because if you do, it'll do this, and you don't want a wanky star. Wanky wonky. It's okay if you do that. You just gotta, what I do if I pull it too tight is I take the needle I'm working with and I just pull some of that back through, and then I use the needle to continue to manipulate the yarn and fix it to looking like how it did before. Alright, and then you're just gonna weave in the rest of your ends there. Oops. Oh, I hate when that happens so much. And then the last pass through. Let's go. Okay. And now that you're done weaving in your... Okay. Sorry, let me restart this. I forgot I was doing this for the YouTube video. Okay, now that your end is all weaved in, you're just going to take your scissors and you're going to snip off that little bit of extra. I do like to save my yarn ends just for stuffing later on. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And then the last step I do is I just use the chain spaces to pull the star points just to give them a little bit more definition like that. You can also block them if you want to. I am just lazy, so I am not going to bother with that. You can either do a wet block or steam block. These are also machine washable. So you just machine wash them and then you can air dry them, or you can dry them on low to cool heat. And there you go. You just made yourself a star coaster. Yay! And then you gotta make a whole set. Yay! I just have 2 more left for this set, so. I did a set of rainbow and black, so they look kind of like a roller rink to me. And then now I'm just doing the opposite of that, which is white with all the rainbow colors that I picked out. So the next color is gonna be purple. And look at this. I cannot remember the name of this purple. I think it might be lilac from Big Twist. But I'm an idiot and I don't keep my yarn labels for some reason. I'm just estúpido. Muy estúpido. But, you know, we live and we learn, chat. Save your yarn labels. Even if you just like save the yarn label, roll it up and stick it in the middle, like save your yarn labels. I'm gonna drink some Wawa before I start the next one. Okay, so for the next star, we're going to start the same process over again, which is just starting with the magic ring. So pinch, wrap, shove it, strangle it, pull it through. So again, slip stitch or chain 1, I guess. Do 6 single crochets. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Move your stitch marker to that last stitch so you don't lose your place, and then pull it closed. I like to put my thumb like right in the middle and like pull with my other hand to get it as tight as possible. It's a trick that I used to do when I hand sew to help get a tighter knot. Looking for a little sign of life, hoping I feel brighter on the So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then you're gonna go to the first stitch, and you're gonna do an increase in every stitch in this row. So 1. Oops. So 1, 2. 3, 4, 5. Oh, you see that, chat? My yarn's getting tangled again and it's splitting in the ring. So I gotta undo it, give it a little twisty twist to get it untwisted. And then you're gonna continue. Okay, where was I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I need to do another stitch in this stitch. Boom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7, 7, 8. Seven, 8, 9, 10, and then my yarn is getting stuck again. Oh, God, this is so annoying. Hold on. I'm just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Okay. Some people actually have like these giant wheels that have like 2 pegs on it and it spins. So you put your yarn on one peg and then you put the other color on the other peg. And then as you're working, if it twists, you just spin the circle and it untwists itself without having to do all that jazz that I just did. So we're at the last stitch now. Put our hook through, take out the stitch marker, and do another increase. 1, 2. And that's row 2, chat. Okay, so for row 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I have a little bit of trouble sneaking up on me, chat. You see that? Look at that little bit of trouble there. Well, hello, little bit of trouble. So usually you can gently pull these apart, but as I can see, like, this is not coming loose, so I have to pull this loop out first, and then boom. Did you see that? Mint. Mint. Okay, so in the next stitch, we're gonna do a single crochet, and then in that last stitch, a double crochet. Nope, not a double crochet. I lied, chat. I lied. It's an increase. And then for the 4th row, we're gonna do 2 single crochet and 1 increase. Repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So 2 more single crochet and 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Move that stitch marker. That's so important. Move that marker. You better move that. You better move that stitch marker. Do you know why? Because then you'll lose track and you'll have to restart the entire thing. That's why. Learn from my mistakes, chat. Learn from my mistakes. Okay, so for row 5, 3 single crochet, 1 repeat, and 3 single crochet, 1 increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we are. We're at the end now. 1, 2, 3. Take the stitch marker out. 4 and 5. And then put your stitch marker back. And then we're gonna do row 6, which is the row where we add all the points. Hell yeah, brother. I gotta fix my yarn and my tension ring again. Okay. So for the last row, it's another repeating pattern, just very different from the first one we were doing. Okay, let's try that again. So single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 1, and then another treble crochet. And then we're gonna do a half double crochet. Nope, that was a double crochet, chat. I'm sorry. You're doing a double crochet, then a half double crochet, and then a single okay, then a single crochet, okay? So then to reset the pattern, slip stitch. Single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 1, and then another treble crochet. Double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch. And then you got 2 corners. So then restarting the pattern, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet. Oop, that was wrong. Hold on, I gotta restart that. So treble crochet, chain 1, and then another treble crochet. Oh, wow. You see how that's split? Yeah, that's bad. We don't want that, chat. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hook out, right? And then you're going to reposition your yarn in your hand. And then you're going to go again. So double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slippa stitchu. Slippy stitchy. And there, you got 3 now. It's so cute. Okay, in the next stitch, single, half double, double, treble, chain, and treble. Split the yarn again, chat. This is why working with two strands of yarn, like, I don't really do it very often. Like, as of right now, this is the only pattern I'm doing it in. All the rest of my patterns are just single strands of yarn, like this cardigan that I made myself, and then, you know, all the rest of the products I was mentioning earlier, the opossum plushies, the ghost plushies, the bee plushies, all those are single strand. I just really thought the coaster needed a double strand, and I'm really glad I did. So then we're going to do a double crochet, a half double crochet, single crochet, and then another slip stitch. And now you have 4! Whee! Progress! And then in the next one we're just going to do the pattern again, which is single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 1, another treble, double, half double, and then single. And then in this last stitch for the invisible fasten off, we are doing a slip stitch, slip, snip, and pull it through. I like that this purple matches, like, my overlay. It's very cute. I was not expecting, like, that was not on purpose, I promise. That was not on purpose. I just really like purple. Okay. And I always twist the yarn, even if it's a single strand, to help get it into the darning needle, because it is just so much easier that way. So much easier that way, let me tell you. It puts it all into one, so you're not struggling to get it through the eye. Like, even though this eye is a little bigger than, like, normal sewing needles, it's still hard to get the yarn in there. Okay, so then we're gonna go behind to the front. Just kidding, I did that wrong somehow. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. So, behind to the front, through the middle, and out the back. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. Okay, and then we are going to weave in our end. Oh, let me put the pile back on the screen. There we go. Okay, that was 1. This is 2. And then 3. There we go. Okay, now that that's all woven in, we are going to give it a snippy day snip snip. That didn't work the first time. And then again, a little bit of my end is peeking out here, like, you're not gonna be able to see it when it's down flat, but I know it's there, so I need to get rid of it. I only try to sell the best product, I'm trying to sell the best product possible to my customers so that it lasts a long time and they can enjoy it for as long as they possibly can. Okay, so that was... Ooh, this is our 5th 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is our 5th star of the stream. I'm actually getting them done a little faster than I thought. So I'm just going to take a quick stretch break. And then for our next star, we're going to be doing pink now to complete the set. And this pink, I think it's called Pretty in Pink. Red Heart Super Saver? I'm going to have to double check that for you. But it's another one that I use for my flags. So this is the pink that I've used for the pan flag. This one, obviously, you know, it is older right down here. So, like, it's not as vibrant as this pink is. But the yellow I was using earlier is the 3rd color in this set. So it's turquoise, bright yellow, and then Pretty in Pink, I think. I have to check that. It is Pretty in Pink. Start your magic ring. Stick your hook through. So pull that through, and then 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then put your stitch marker in the last stitch, and then pull it closed. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Second row, increase in every stitch, so 2 single crochet into every single stitch fan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's get her done. Get her done! 1, 2. And that was row dose. Like I said, I don't really need this, so I don't use it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be more aware of using it for you guys, but for the rest of the stream, I'm probably not going to use it just because I don't want to right now. I just want to get her done. Get her done, because after I finish this set, I'm actually going to be working on a full rainbow set, but it's going to be 2 different shades of each color, and I'm really excited about how that one's going to turn out. So row 3 is going to be 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, oopsies, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, the yarn is creeping up on me because it is getting to its end point, so it just gets a little more tangled the less yarn there is. I don't know how that math works. If somebody can explain that to me, I would appreciate it. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. For row 4, we're going to be doing 2 single crochet and 1 increase. Repeat. 1, 2. See, when I go fast, like I can go fast, but I mess up more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna pull that back again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, for row 5, we're going to be doing 3 single crochet, 1 increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then increase. 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, before I continue and finish this star, I do need to go check something real quick. I forgot that I was thawing some meat for dinner tonight, so I have to go check that. So I will be right back, okay? Don't go nowhere, chat. I'll be back. BRB. Okay, so for the last row, we're going to be making the points. So we're going to do a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and then a treble crochet. But guess what? I can't finish this treble crochet because my yarn is once again getting twisted up and caught. Well, let's go. Okay. Treble crochet, chain 1, and then another treble crochet. We're gonna do a double crochet, and then a half double crochet, and then a single crochet, and then a slip. Single, half double, double, treble, chain, and then another treble crochet. Sorry, my face itched, chat. So we're gonna do another double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, and slip stitch. Single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single, slip, single, half double, double, treble, chain 1, treble crochet, double crochet and half double. So you're doing double then half double now. Single, slip, single, half double, double, treble, chain, and another treble. Double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet, and in that last stitch, slippy dippy rippy dippy. Okay, we are officially done with the white. Oh, I just yucked up. Okay, so again, we go from behind to front, and then front to back. Boop. And then we're gonna weave in our ends. Okay, we've weaved in the ends, and now we're just gonna snip off the extra little bits, like so. Put you in the pile, and then ta-da! We finished another coaster, chat. Let's see them all together. Look at them. Look at them, chat. Look at all the hard work. Look at all the hard work. Look at all these babies. Look at how cute they are. Now I gotta stack these back up. I will be selling these in packs together, but then the last day of my event Game Art, I am just going to be selling them individually in mixed packs. But online for Etsy, I'm just going to be doing made to order. So if you want to order one of these, you have to place the order, and then I will make it and send it to you. You won't get what was made on stream unless you go to Game Art. But we're still waiting on more information for that. And then, as I said earlier, I was going to do another rainbow set, but the solid color with 2 different shades of the solid color. So this is the first one I made. The colors are a little skewed, but I did a nice bright red with like a nice maroonish brick red. And then that was the first one that I made of this set. So then the second one we're going to make is orange. So I'm going to take these 2 shades of orange and put them together, and we're going to see how they look, and I really hope they look good because I'm excited. I think this one is Pumpkin Orange by Red Heart Super Saver, and then I think this one's Varsity Orange from Big Twist. I'm not sure though because I don't have the labels. Once again, I played myself. Haha. Oh yeah, these are gonna look so nice together, chat. I'm so excited. Okay. Let's go. Let's get in. Let's see if we can get another coaster finished. I forgot. I'm gonna be making these ones larger, so I need the big boy hook, the big fancy schmancy 8mm. Wrap this around. Okie dokie. Okay, we're gonna pull through, and then we're gonna do 6 single crochet. It's the same exact pattern, just 2 different hook sizes, so you really don't have to put too much thought into it if you want to move up. And if you wanted to make it even bigger, you could go up to a bigger size hook. I do have a size 11 hook. It's plastic though, so I don't really use it. I prefer metal hooks. But wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. I will also be making Pride-themed star coasters. eventually. I just wanted to start out with rainbow sets, Roy G. Biv sets. 6, okay. And now we're gonna put an increase in every stitch. Hold on, my one orange is getting a little stuck. Ah! Brother. Oh, it had a baby, that's why it was stuck. Baby live on screen. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 6. 7. 7. 8. 7, 8. 9. 10. 9, 10, and then 11 and 12. I can't remember the brand name, but this coloration that I'm looking at right now reminds me a lot of like this Italian ice popsicles I used to eat when I was a kid. They were like swirled and they had cotton candy. I think this flavor it reminds me of is called like Sunset or something like that. Oh, I'm gonna have to see if I can find it online. Okay, and the next row is gonna be 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat. So 1 single crochet, and then an increase. So 1 and 2. So 1 single crochet, and then an increase. 1 and 2. Single crochet, 1 and 2. Single crochet. I have to fix this. Why does this yarn hate me? There we go. That way and that way. Okay. So what was it? 1, 2. So 1 and then 1, 2. 1, 2. So 1 and then increase. 1, 2. 1 and then the last row. Last row? Ugh! Last stitch. Oy vey. 1 and 2. So now we're gonna do 2 single crochet and 1 increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then we just have 2 more rows left until we're done with this coaster, and I have just made the executive decision when I'm done with this coaster, I'm going to do a little stream wrap up, and then I'm going to hop off so I can go back to editing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Oops. Okay. So it was 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. Okay, chat, one more row to go, and then we're calling it a night. Well, calling it a wrap on this stream anyway. I will be on again later for some Minecraft. Ouch. That hurt. Okay. So, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, chain 1, and then another treble crochet, double crochet, oops, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet. What is that noise? Why does that keep happening? Hold on, chat. I gotta figure this shit out. Okay, chat, I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't figure out why my computer keeps making that noise, so we're just gonna leave it be. It's the end of stream anyway, so it doesn't matter. Treble crochet, chain 1, another treble crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet. This is starting to look like fire. Like, it's reminding me of Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle, and I really like it. I like this color combination a lot. It's very, very nice. I can't wait to see how all the other ones turn out. Ooh, I'm so excited. I love yarn. I'm a yarn goblin, guys. I'm a yarn goblin and a half. Ask my partner. He'll tell you. I need all the yarn. All of it. All the time. Oh, that was a fail. Okay. Okie dokie, we're on the last few stitches now, chat. We just got a slip. Nope. We got a single crochet and then slip stitch it. Slip it, snip it, and pull it through. And there you go, chat. We managed to finish another star before I wanted to end my stream. So how many stars was that? 7 stars. Let's go. That's good. That's good. Okay. And boom. Orange is now done.